The Good Friday Agreement and UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson's commitment to it has become the focus of Brexit discourse. In light of Johnson's proposed ditching of the backstop, we're taking a look at the Good Friday Agreement and how losing the backstop could threaten it. Basically, the Good Friday Agreement is a deal about how Northern Ireland should be governed. It is more widely celebrated, however, as effectively ending the 30-year conflict known as the Troubles. The agreement was reached on the 10th of April 1998 and addressed these key issues, among others. Number 1, devolution. Power was transferred from Westminster to the Northern Ireland Assembly and Executive Committee. This gave these institutions the power to make laws regarding their internal governance. Number 2, parish sharing. Part of what sparked the conflict in the first place is that Catholic nationalists felt as though they were excluded from power by successive unionist-dominated governments. Catholics have historically been a minority in Northern Ireland, and voting was governed by majority rules policy. This was bolstered by practices of gerrymandering, which meant that even in areas dominated by nationalists, like Derry Londonderry, the regions were still ruled by unionists. Parish sharing meant that there would be equal power in the state's top jobs by law. If a unionist First Minister was elected, there would have to be a nationalist deputy in place. This means that any proposed change in law must be agreed on by both parties. This is proving thorny in light of the Brexit referendum, as nationalists staunchly oppose leaving the EU. 3. Decommission of arms and demilitarisation. As part of the peace process, both sides were encouraged to decommission paramilitary weapons. The British Army had been in place in Northern Ireland since August 1969. The agreement enabled the withdrawal of forces from the state and end of military checkpoints along the border, which had been frequent targets of attacks. The spectre of Brexit has seen a resurgence of unrest. On Monday, a device exploded near Wattle Bridge, County Fermanagh. As you can see, the area is right on the border. Police believe this attack was a deliberate attempt to murder police officers. Number 4, the border. The Good Friday Agreement actually says very little about the border. Because of the common travel area between the UK and Ireland and both countries' membership in the EU single market, the demilitarisation of the border led to its virtual dissolution. Now there is an open border between the two regions, with an estimated 105 million crossings every year. Historically, there has never been a customs checkpoints on the border between Ireland and Northern Ireland. Many who live in towns along the border say that this would be completely unviable, as residents currently cross the border to attend school, grocery shop, or go about daily activities without even realising when they're crossing. The backstop is fundamentally a Brexit insurance policy, guaranteeing that no hard border will be introduced between Ireland and Northern Ireland. Johnson is trying to reopen backstop negotiations, believing that it keeps the UK trapped within the EU single market. On Monday, he tweeted an open letter to EU Council President Donald Tusk, saying that the Good Friday Agreement is not dependent on any particular customs regime. The question is he right? Well, it depends on which aspect of the Good Friday Agreement that he's referring to. Firstly, the agreement was created with the assumption of EU membership of both countries. As a result, issues of diverging trade practices simply did not arise. In terms of border issues covered by the government, Johnson is right to say that the end of the backstop would not contradict the terms of the Good Friday Agreement. A fully open border between Ireland and the UK was not guaranteed in the agreement. Rather, demilitarisation of the border and mutual membership of the single market led organically to an open border. On the other hand, the proposed ditching of the backstop is at odds with how politics in Northern Ireland functions. Under the Parish Sharing clause, both unionist and nationalist parties hold equal sway. By suggesting that the backstop should be ditched, even in the face of nationalist outcry, Johnson is ignoring how the state of Northern Ireland is supposed to function. Human rights organisations in Northern Ireland have expressed concern over Johnson's letter, saying that this interpretation is in fact contrary to the UK government's own understanding of the Good Friday Agreement. the EU has been firmly against reopening backstop talks. Tusk responded to Johnson's letter today, saying that arguing against the backstop is a sign of support for the re-establishment of the border. With Johnson's first meetings with European leaders taking place this week, the Good Friday Agreement and the backstop are top of the agenda. Watch this space for updates.